Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
The Taters and Sandy together at last.
Indeed, yeah. Sandy Taters. That's what they should call it. That's what their couple name would be.
The old Sandy Taters.
Sandy Taters, yeah.
Oh,
we figured it out, Dave. Hello, everyone.
My name is David Bell.
My name is not. My name is Tom Ryman.
And we just watched The Lost City.
The Lost City.
It's the Lost City.
Lost City. Lost City Nights.
Is that a thing?
Miss Sage, I enjoyed your book about the Lost City, and I believe you're the one who can help me find its treasure.
I have to respectfully decline.
I'm afraid I must insist.
Unchain me!
That's your seatbelt.
It's a Scorpion song. Lost City Nights, you know, it's one of their hits.
I thought he just fought in Mortal Kombat.
Singing about a lost city. Well, no, sometimes he's in a German hair metal band.
Oh, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like he'd be in one, to be honest.
He dabbles. He has his fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah.
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 When he says, get over here, like, he's like, get over here, a new project. Like, he tries to collect, keep his, idle hands, et cetera, et cetera. So he tries to keep himself busy so that he's not constantly getting called back to hell to be a spirit of vengeance.
Idle spear hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is a movie.
It is. It's a motion picture, Dave, a film.
Amazingly, it's not like a Netflix film. It's not a streaming film. You have to go to the theater to see this. It's also like the hottest movie this weekend. I was like, so there's so many other movies I want to see right now. X is out.
Yeah.
Everything Everywhere All at Once
in limited. That one's not playing near me right now.
All right. Yeah, they're both. Is X limited too?
X, it got wider this past week, so it's in more theaters this weekend. So that one is playing near me now.
We probably should have saw X, but
we'll see X maybe next week. I don't know. I don't think we have anything.
Yeah.
I think April's kind of a jacked up month in terms of new releases.
We'll get around to X. I'm excited for X. This is my way of saying that I was not that excited to see this movie because this was a real case of like when we saw like Sonic and there was like The Lighthouse playing or something like that, and it was just like going in to be like, one ticket to Sonic. That's
let me see the hedgehog.
Yeah, but this is an adventure romance with Harry Potter villain Daniel Radcliffe, Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock.
Scary Potter, you might say.
Yeah, Scary Potter. Brad Pitt's there briefly. What did you think of The Lost City?
I thought it was fine. I thought it was fun. It was charming little date movie. I went on a date to see it with my wife.
Oh, good.
My wife.
Yeah,
it's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine, which is why I'm like, I'm not into it because I'm like, I don't know what to.
I don't really know what we're going to talk about, but we'll see.
Exactly,
we'll see,
because
Dave. It's well, listen, we just have to talk for 27 more minutes. We hit the 30-minute mark, we're fine.
And we're done.
Yeah.
It's a I would call it not in a so there's no way to use this word without it sounding negative. It's kind of mediocre, I would say. Doesn't necessarily make it like this is the thing is like if this was on Netflix, I would have been fine. If I could pause this and like not drive, I probably would have been more fine with it. That said, I really, really liked Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
Their chemistry.
Yeah, they were great together. Little Scary Potter was having fun, running around in there.
Yeah.
We got some fun bits from some side characters. I'll agree with you. It's
a lot of jokes from 10 years ago.
Yeah, the movie, there's nothing really wrong with the movie, but the movie also never it never hits a home run, if that makes sense. It keeps things pretty much in the stadium, and it kind of hits a lot of beats you expect it to. There are some funny there's plenty of funny moments. There's lots of great chemistry, but it never does anything super memorable. It's just kind of like a fine, fun, charming movie that you'll probably forget about after you leave the theater. And that's not a bad thing. It's perfectly fine.
It is slipping from my mind. Yeah, it reminds me of a movie we watched fairly recently. What's it called? Pure Luck. With what's his name?
Martin Short and Danny Glover.
Yeah, it's one of those movies where 20 years from now, God, that was made even longer, 30 years from now, people are going to look back and go, wow, they did a movie together?
They sure did.
I wonder what this is. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. People are going to be like, oh, what is this movie? The Lost City? Yeah, let's pop that on in our futuristic movie night.
Mm-hmm. Whatever we're using to watch movies on. I don't know, probably just getting them tattooed under our eyeballs.
Right. And then they'll watch it and be like, yep, that was a real comedy of its time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, kind of its time more like 10 years ago. Like he literally does the Job from Arrested Development bit in this, where Channing Tatum comes out to the final countdown and dances around.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that is from a show 10 years ago? Maybe
20.
more? 20? Yeah, so it's that kind of movie where it's like, oh, they're in the water. I wonder if he's going to get leeches on him. Oh, he does, and it's funny. And he's upset, and she has to pick them off. You know, like it checks off like every like light comedy cliche, I would say.
Yeah, it doesn't. For the most part. It doesn't do any of the like. It won't. It doesn't really try to be anything more than just fine, so it won't ever become the touchstone that future like rom-com adventure films are compared to, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot, pretty much like we referred to it, like we kept comparing it to Romancing the Stone when we covered the trailer on Hypecast, and a lot of reviews are making the same connection, and they even have a big poster in the one of the first scenes where she's doing the first part of her book tour. There's a big sign that says Romancing the Book, I think, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they're aware of kind of the sandbox they're playing in, and they don't really do anything to leave a lasting mark. It was just like, here's another installment in this perfectly enjoyable, charming genre that people like to watch. But we're not moving the needle. We're not. There's no paradigm shift happening here.
Right. I have a hot take.
Yeah.
So one part of this that I think is the weakest is the actual treasure hunting. It's not trying to be a treasure hunting movie, but it's very basic treasure hunting. She finds a piece of paper and then happens upon a waterfall with like more writing that Daniel Radcliffe apparently was like, there's nothing there. It's just some drawings. And it's like, what the fuck, man? That's like, there's tons of language there, but whatever. And then that leads them to like she overhears a band mention a sinkhole with the same name, and that's it. That's the treasure hunt. And they go to the sinkhole, they crawl through a small hole, and there's a tomb at the other side. My hot take is the movie begins with the idea of them going on a book tour.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would have been more interesting. I honestly think the strongest part of this movie is Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock and their chemistry. Yeah. Like they're actually a very fun couple. They both have a good sense of humor. They're both very charismatic. I don't know why it needed to be an adventure. Like I kind of would have been perfectly fine with a movie about a book tour between this writer who doesn't want to do this anymore and the himbo model.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have been fine.
Yeah.
That would have been fine.
Sure.
They could have did the dance scene at the, you know, like they could have had like some mishaps, like, you know, pop tire, a plane that they think is going to go down, little mishaps like that. But I really didn't need the adventure side of it because they barely tried.
Yeah, they don't do too much with it.
They really don't. So it's like your strongest elements. It has nothing to do with the writing of the movie. It's just those two actors, which frankly I could have watched. Daniel Radcliffe could have been like a competing romance novelist, you know? Like I didn't need a fucking volcano. I didn't need whatever they spent on this movie. Brad Pitt, he was fine. He was probably one of the more enjoyable parts.
Yeah,
but like,
it's a very fun cameo.
Yeah, and like you know from the trailer, like, yeah, he's not in it long.
No.
He gets his brains blown out.
Yeah, but he comes back in the mid-credits scene. Did you see that?
No, I had to pee.
Oh, there's a very fun bit in the mid-credits scene where it's Sandy and Taters. Sandy Taters are at the yoga class that Taters was talking about earlier in the film where he met Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt shows up behind him and they have this thing like, oh shit, I thought you were dead, like your brain came out. And he has this whole like extremely laid back, like, no, you see, we only use 10% of our brains, so now I'm just using a different 10%. Like it's very tongue in cheek and very well done. And they have this bit where they're like, oh well, sorry we left you. We super thought you were dead because you got shot in the head. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm just like angry and I have some resentment and anger issues to work through. And then it's just like him kind of, they're meditating, but he's opening one eye and giving each of them like the crook eye, and that's it. It's the whole scene. It's very funny.
That is very good.
Back and he's like, it's because his whole character, which you can probably infer from the trailer, but you get more of it when you see the movie, is that he's this super health fitness guru who always talks a lot of like pseudo-scientific philosophical bullshit. But
and his name is Jack Trainer.
Jack Trainer,
which I enjoyed.
Yeah, very fun. So it's the whole like, no, you only use 10% of your brain. I just shifted to a different 10%. It's like a pretty perfect joke for this character.
It is. It really is. Yeah, we might as well go through the plot.
Yeah, it's basically exactly what you see in the trailer.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock is a romance novelist who is a widow.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to go on like adventures with her husband. She's sort of sick of this whole career. It's very Galaxy Quest actually, because it's the idea she's like, she finds what she does like kind of mediocre. She wants to break out of it. And then Daniel Radcliffe, for whatever reason, she accidentally in her book wrote about an ancient language.
Well, it's because she and her husband are academics, and like he's a full-blown archaeologist, so she would she fell into romance writing in the beginning to begin with because her like academic books weren't selling, so she sort of like repackaged it as romance fiction, and those sold. So she would incorporate whatever he was working on into it. So her latest book had like this fragment that he had translated. It was about this real lost city that they were researching when he died. So she just incorporated some of it in there, and it happened to be a partial translation of this dead language.
Right.
So that's the explanation.
And so Danny Radcliffe kidnaps her, insists that she's going to help him translate this thing because he assumes there's treasure, which I thought was pretty flimsy because he's supposed to be extremely rich, and he's looking for a single crown. And it was like he should be doing it for the glory, right? Like if he's doing it at all, he bought the island that it's on. So it's like, I don't know what you're going to do with that crown, man. Like, I think the idea is he has as much motivation as he needs, but it's just like,
well, go ahead.
It's just like he's like, I'm collecting the thing that's like invaluable is the idea.
It's we get a little bit of his deal is he's like one of three brothers. His youngest brother, they keep referencing, got handed the dad's like huge multimedia company, and he resents the fuck out of that. So he's like trying to do something to sort of make a name for himself. And we get a couple of quick lines about how he kind of does this. Like he sunk a bunch of money trying to raise the Titanic, and they mention him sinking a bunch of money into like another kind of dead end treasure hunt.
Yeah, and I know this isn't supposed to be that kind of movie, but I am kind of bothered by the inconsistency there, because if you were to raise the Titanic, you wouldn't be able to like sell it. You wouldn't be able to like plunder it. It's just he's doing it for the glory, right? Yeah. And so, spoilers, when they find the tomb, he's like mad there's no jewels, and he's like, fuck this place. And it's like, I thought you weren't doing this for money. I thought you were doing it for the glory. You found it. like this is the place.
I think it has to be kind of both. I think
it
sort of hoping to recoup those expenses a little bit.
He's just not a human, like he's a little...
nobody in this movie is a human being.
Yeah, that's true. Nobody in this, but like he just felt very inconsistent. It's fine. It's fine. And so he kidnaps her. He brings her to this island. They track her again. Really nothing clever about the adventure. They track her smartwatch, which they introduce like a lot at first, because they're scared we won't notice.
They do the very basic plant payoff stuff in this movie, but it's there.
It's there. It's very basic.
Yeah.
So they track her watch, and then Channing Tatum, they like can't get a hold of the authorities. They don't call the FBI. Even the cops are like, you should probably call the FBI. They don't do any of that. They contact Jack Trainer, and then Channing Tatum like tags along. They get back Sandra Bullock, and then Jack Trainer is killed, and they crash their car. So it's like, okay, we're in the jungle. We have to find our way back. Mm-hmm. Which is your very basic adventure premise.
Yeah, it's like they're Dr. Grant and the kids crawling out of the ruined Jeep after the Tyrannosaurus, which in this case is, I guess,
just a cliff.
Scary Potter. And his bad guys, and Brad Pitt's brains are the T-Rex. I don't know. Anyway, the point is they must now get to the other side of this jungle. Yeah,
and then they just sort of they don't do much with the jungle.
No, they really don't. They speed
no
through.
Animals. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to cross a river with some leeches. They have to spend the night in a hammock. They have to climb a cliff, and then they have to outwit some henchmen on dirt bikes, which is a very funny sequence.
Yeah, that was probably the strongest moment. Is they clothesline a henchman and he crashes into the other, and they go off
they both fly
cliff,
off a mountain, and there's like they have like a 2-minute sequence of where they're both like trying to rationalize to each other why it's okay that they just killed 2 people.
Yeah. And like, oh, maybe they're okay, and it's like, I don't know.
He's like, yeah, they're probably not okay, but it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. It's okay.
Right, they were being reckless, Yeah, that is a great moment. Again, every moment with them just talking to each other.
Yeah,
I loved that shit.
Yeah, it's very simple ideas that are carried and executed very well, just because Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum are very funny performers on their own, and then together they just have a lot of chemistry. So
yeah, it's the biggest thing that I think stands out in this film is that unlike most films like this, every time a dialogue scene happened, I was like, ooh, here we go.
Yeah, oh boy.
And then every time they were back to the adventure, I was like, snooze.
Well, they speed through. I think they knew that. So I think that's probably why they kind of speed through the adventure, which is a little bit of a shame because it's an adventure romance, I don't know.
Right.
But
and then they make their way to a town, and I was like, that's weird. But it's fine. Like, I thought, okay, well, we got them in the jungle. Let's keep them in the jungle, right? Let's have fun with the jungle. But like we were saying, they're out of the jungle pretty fast.
Pretty easily, yeah.
Yeah, they go to this village. They have some romantic dance scene, which was like, yeah, this is strong. This is good stuff. Their whole arc is like, she treats him like a himbo, and he's got layers. And like, and she thinks she doesn't like her own books, and she sees him as like he's really into the fans, and she's kind of dismissive of the fans, and he's mad at her for that. Where it's like, we make people happy, which is kind of like my view of this film, which is like, yeah, if people like it, that's fine.
Yeah, it can't be that. It's she's starting to have contempt, and it's like her arc is she doesn't want to do anything. Like since her husband died, she's just sort of lost her desire to do anything. And she's growing to like resent her fandom and her fans and him by extension, even though he's a dummy, but he's only ever like sweet. Like he's just trying to cheer her up and be nice and kind of help her move on. So like their arc is he helps her move on, and she finally moves on.
He's a real Channing Tatum type.
He's a real Channing Tatum character, yeah.
Yeah. He's a real Magic Mike about it, which honestly, I could have also accepted this as a Magic Mike sequel with
Sure.
just Sandra Bullock in there.
Oh, yeah, just throw Sandra Bullock in there. Or the next Magic Mike should be an adventure, right? It should be a treasure hunt. Just get those glorious guys together to go on a treasure hunt.
It should 100% be a treasure
That would
hunt.
be amazing.
I want Magic Mike to be the next Fast and Furious
Big
franchise.
Richie fucking searching for treasure.
Yeah.
You got Kevin Nash in there and like all of them in there.
Yeah. I want Magic Mike 10, and we'll be looking at Magic Mike 10 and being like, remember when it was just about like dancers? And now they're literally magic. That's amazing.
Like that's what I wizards.
Want. Yeah. Yeah, it becomes like Harry Potter where they're like fighting each other with oh, that would be great.
Oh man.
That's what movies should be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so then they go to the cops, and the cops are corrupt, and they double cross them, and so Daniel Radcliffe's there, and he re-kidnaps Sandra Bullock in his tank. Channing Tatum goes after them. There's like an action scene on the tank where they have fun with the fact that Channing Tatum never is good at fighting.
I love that they stick to that too. That's like a fun thing and a good instinct is to never. He's trying his hardest, bless his heart, but he's just not an action guy. So.
Right. I really like Muscle Man who isn't actually good at fighting.
He's just like he's glamour muscles. He's a model. So
yeah.
He's just like he has no idea what to do, but he's trying his hardest.
Right. Exactly. That's pretty great.
And then conversely, like even though the truck chase was interesting because it's weak as an action scene, but it's kind of delightful as like more business for them to do because
right as like a comedy adventure scene.
Yeah, she gets to like kind of use her intellect, which happens a few times. Like she uses the spilling the drink to set stuff on fire, but it doesn't quite go exactly right. So it's just like more fun character stuff for them to do. So it was a weird scene in a couple of ways, but ultimately it was just like, oh well, we got some fun bits out of it. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
They just needed Channing to get kidnapped. Mm-hmm. It's that sort of thing where it's like, they could have just had them get kidnapped both together at the town.
Why not do a truck chase?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah. My only argument against that is that this was an hour and 50 minutes, and like I could have used 20 minutes less. Like they could have kept that, but it's just like, I don't know. I would have loved to see less of this movie. There's a whole B plot where her publicist is like going to get her, and she was fun. I liked seeing Oscar.
Yeah. Returning apparently as his character from The Proposal. So he must be friends with Sandra Bullock or so, and I'm not sure
something.
Like I think he might literally be his character from The Proposal. Right.
So it's the Oscar cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that whole B plot is like, I don't know if I needed it. I didn't hate it, but it's just like, again, I could have used 20 minutes less of this movie. And ultimately that plot, all they do is pick them up on a boat.
Yeah.
And it's like, that could have been anyone.
Yeah, but might as well have it be this fun character who was doing bits. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, again, it's like those characters were good. It's just like it just felt this, if there's no adventure here, make it 90 minutes, I guess. I don't know.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
But yeah, they go into a cave, henchman, one of them dies, they go through a hole. And just on the other side of the hole
it's very funny.
Yep. Oh yeah, mustache guy. And they've been setting up this idea that one of the henchmen doesn't like what they're doing there. So
right,
he double crosses Danny.
He's a local, and he's like, this is kind of fucked up. Like we're just sort of he kind of is already apprehensive because they're just kind of cavalierly fucking with the history of his home. And then they do show us a few times where he's like objecting to how violent they're getting. It's like, all right, a henchman with a conscience, okay.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Maybe the henching game's not for you, but
yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is true. Is that he is a bad henchman?
Yeah, he's not a great henchman. He probably won't get Daniel Radcliffe is not going to write him a good referral.
No, not at all.
He's not going to get a letter of recommendation from him.
Definitely not. So they find the tomb, and Daniel Radcliffe, they find the two buried together, and the crown is just seashells. And yeah, he's mad that there's no jewels. The volcano starts to erupt, so he locks them in the tomb together, and the nice henchman leaves them a crowbar, so they use the crowbar to get out. And then it's adventure. They dive through some water, and then they're out, and the movie's over.
Pretty much, yeah. They show up and rescue them, and Daniel Radcliffe's on the boat with them, so they had to rescue him a second ago. Yeah. And then they're just like, oh, he's the bad guy, and then he gets arrested, and that's it. It's like very, very clean and simple how everything gets solved.
Yep. They go to Hawaii, they kiss on the beach.
Yeah. Everybody's wearing white linen. Everybody's looking fabulous.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They really, like, all of the adventure stuff is very easy. Like, they just kind of get through it without too much challenge.
Again, an hour and 50 minutes. You'd think they could have, like, a booby trap or, like, a puzzle. Like, you think they could do something there. Like, it's almost 2 hours, and I'm honestly, like, I came out of it being like, where did the time go? Because, like, it just feels like, I don't know, did we really need a scene where they climb a cliff? I guess that sets up him telling her to breathe and supporting her later, but it's like, that could have been a booby trap. That could have been a puzzle. That could have been something. You could have, it just doesn't feel like
they went for, go ahead.
It's written by 4 people, and it's just like, come on, guys.
Two of whom are the directors, so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's not a bad movie again, but it's like, I do feel like you could have put more effort into some of this. Like,
yeah, I think what it seems to me like the decision that was made was to use these beats not to build the adventure, but instead to do character stuff. So like the cliff climbing scene was to show us, oh, here's something that Channing Tatum is good at, like just generally exercising. And he's kind of a good coach. So that's the whole point of that scene, rather than how can we use this scene to create a new challenge for them. It's like, well, let's use this scene to get a new character moment out and kind of build the relationship a little bit more. So they were definitely, it seems to me anyway, leaning way more or focusing much more on the romance aspect of it. And the adventure was just sort of the backdrop in front of which the romance takes place.
Right. To which, that's why I'm like, just do a book tour then. Yeah. Because like, it's sort of, I do get that. And they do a lot of good romantic character stuff. But again, it's like, okay, well, Sandra Bullock's supposed to be wicked smart. She should solve a puzzle or two, you know?
Does. But yeah, it's more like translating and like her knowledge of the culture. They don't have her like diffuse any booby traps or anything like that.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I feel like they could have done both. There's room for both in here.
Yeah, there was. Like, for sure.
You could have had them, them solving a puzzle together seems like a great opportunity to show their relationship, you know?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I think so. And it just, it's kind of what we said at the beginning, is that ultimately, like, they have good chemistry, but it's like, all right, let's take that chemistry and put it in a more memorable film.
Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway is I hope they make more movies together.
Yeah, me too. They're really good together. And it kind of like, I think it's that sort of thing. It's like, you don't have to see the movie to imagine why. It's just like, you look at them both individually in other movies. They're two of the most charming people.
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock is one of the most charming actors out there, in my opinion. She is
completely agree.
Yeah. And one of the more charming people.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like a delight all the time, 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Except for in Crash.
Less of a delight. She's kind of racist in Crash.
She's kind of racist
in Crash.
Yeah, but just a bit.
But it kind of balances out because Crash is a bad movie.
Right. This is true. This is true about Crash.
Yeah.
I saw it once, and I don't...
Same, Dave. We should start a club.
What's the club?
The club is we've seen Crash once.
Okay, that's a big club, I think. I think that's a pretty... I didn't
say it would be exclusive, Dave.
Who has ever
seen Crash twice?
Yeah, and been like, you know what I could do? Watch Crash again.
Who purchased Crash?
I don't know, man.
Like, who decided I need this in my house so I can watch it whenever the need strikes me?
Right. God damn, Crash.
Fucking Crash.
Who made Crash? I'm looking it up.
Probably a bunch of people. I don't know.
Let's see, not the Wachowskis.
Couple $100.
Wait, was that Wachowskis? Who made the other Crash?
The other Crash is, I want to say, Verhoeven?
No, it can't be.
You're talking about the one with James Spader where it's about people fucking in car accidents, right?
Right, yeah, which is the way better version.
I feel like it's Verhoeven, but I could be wrong. It could be Cronenberg.
I don't know. So the director of the other Crash, the racism one, didn't. They're working. They're not hurting. But boy, they have not made a hit since then. What a career!
Yeah,
they made The Next 3 Days with Russell Crowe.
Yeah, that's a movie.
Yeah, it's they're making something called Ranger's Apprentice.
I'm sure that'll come out and be a movie as well.
Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to find the other Crash.
It's great radio. Solid podcasting.
This is fine. Look,
this is how we cross the 30-minute mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to come on a journey with it. Listen,
James Spader, Holly Hunter. Oh, it is Cronenberg. Holy
okay.
shit.
I knew it was one of those jabronis.
Oh, fuck. I got to see this movie. Now, this is a movie. Why can't they make Crash again? Sandra Bullock and the Taters.
And Taters? Sandy Tates?
Sandy Tates. They could remake Crash.
They could do that. That is within their power.
I don't see why not.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Crash. Have you seen Crash?
Mm-mm. Not that one. Not the Cronenberg Crash, no.
Really?
Yeah.
I imagine it's real dark.
Probably.
It's rated NC-17, Tom.
That's a big reason why I haven't seen it, because I literally could not see it when it came out. Like, I just couldn't. Nope, they wouldn't rent it to me. And the Blockbuster didn't even carry NC-17 movies, so.
Yeah, I can't find it right now. Hold on. Crash 1996. I'm going to search for it. Crash 1996 watch. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got here.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. I don't think you can find Crash anywhere. The 1996 David Cronenberg.
That's a shame.
Oh, no, it's on YouTube. Is it? No?
That's weird. A whole ass Cronenberg movie we can't watch.
Google Play. Okay, let's see. I think it might be on Google Play. No, I don't know what this is. Guys, if anybody can oh yeah, there's a Reddit post. Does anyone know where I can watch Crash?
Fuck, this is like a whole issue we've stumbled upon. This is our lost city, Dave.
Yeah. Wow, there's even in this page everybody is like, okay, here's a link, and I click on it. Guess what? The link's gone. It's like they don't want us to know. Okay, I found it on 123movies.net.
Oh, don't click that.
I already did, and it's the full movie. All right, I'll watch this later.
Okay. Listen, if you're listening,
David Cronenberg,
and you can send us
Crash.
Send us a Crash DVD, David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
What's the deal with that? Yeah, what else about this fucking movie?
I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. It's perfectly fine. It's nice to see Sandra Bullock in a movie again.
Yeah, what was her last movie?
I feel like she had that one recently on Netflix where she went to prison for killing someone and was getting out and trying to take care of her sister.
That.
Yeah, we covered it on Hypecast. I completely forgot about it until this very instant.
Yeah, Unforgivable.
Unforgivable, okay. But I feel like before that it had been maybe 2 or 3 years. I could be completely wrong there. But it feels like a while since
Bird Box.
Bird Box. That was it, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so this is what I'll say about Sandra Bullock. Yeah, I'm looking at her background. Bullet Train. She's in Bullet Train next. She's coming back. She's
the voice that's talking to Brad Pitt on Bullet Train.
Yeah, but she hasn't made a movie I liked since Gravity. And that's an interesting thing about her is that she actually doesn't tend to make movies that I watch or enjoy that much. I just love her. She's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't like Bird Box. This movie is, it's this movie. She was fine in Ocean's 8, but that movie was, I don't know if you saw that, but it had the ocean.
I didn't see that one.
it was a good Ocean's 8 was a good chance for them to like do an actual heist movie again, and it's very like clown shit wild heist like Ocean's 13 or 12. You know what I mean? Where it's like
yeah, that's the Ocean's series. Like I'm not a fan of the Ocean's movies, so
no, neither am I.
That's kind of why I sat that one out.
Yeah. I just wish they actually gave a shit. Kind of like this movie with the treasure stuff. It's like I wish they actually sat down and like thought about it. Or like, yeah, Now You See Me with Daniel Radcliffe, where it's like, what are we doing? This is like it's made like by babies, you know? Like what is this?
By boo. By babies. For babies. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
By
Sure.
boob. I don't know. It's in there. You guys know what I'm saying. It's FUBU, only it's babies.
Sure.
This
extremely loud and
joke.
incredibly close.
Incredible joke.
I never saw that.
Yeah, you know what? We can stop, Dave.
No. Tom? No, we can hit the 40-minute mark.
By
talking
just
about Sandra
listing
Bullock
movies that Sandra
Just
Bullock has been in.
Listing movies. Practical Magic.
Okay,
That's a movie she was in.
Nope, we're not doing that anymore.
All right. Well, okay. Final verdict on this is like, yeah, I've already forgotten the movie. Part of me is kind of hates it now that we're talking about it because it feels like such a waste of everybody's time. Like again, this is what I'll say is again, if someone's like, "Oh, I like that movie," nothing against them. I'm not going to be like, "Oh, that's bullshit," you know? If someone was like, "That's my favorite movie," I'd be like, "Okay, I have a lot of questions." Because that's really weird. I just didn't. It's just with a movie like this, it's just everybody got together, they got all those cameras out, and then they made something that was extremely forgettable. They had Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock, who again, killing it. They are on fire all the time, and you did this with it. I don't know. It just feels like what all this effort for something like this that is just gonna kind of. I do think this is just going to get firmly lost.
Yeah, probably.
And like maybe in 10 years I'll remember the movie and go, "Oh right, that movie."
Yeah. It's I don't know. I think I appreciate that we're still making rom-coms.
Absolutely.
And I thought this was a fine rom-com. Most rom-coms don't become classics, and that's fine.
Yeah, I just think they need a rom-com renaissance. Kind of the way horror had a renaissance.
A rom-com renaissance.
I do think we need to rethink how we do rom-coms. Or at least write better jokes for them and not 10-year-old, 20-year-old jokes. It just... It's again, it's like this wasn't cheap. How much did this movie cost?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm looking it up.
Oh, good.
Oh my God! It cost as much as Jurassic Park.
Sure.
That's actually cheaper than a lot of movies these days.
I was going to say,
yeah,
Jurassic Park was made for like $60 million.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, the broad strokes of this movie, I am all for. I am all for Sandra Bullock adventure film with a himbo Channing Tatum, where she wears the same sequin dress, like that dress idea or pantsuit. That was a great gag
it's
that she has
funny
to
idea,
get thrust into the adventure. There's a lot of like broad strokes ideas in this that I really like. And again, she's great. He is great. I just wish they put a little more effort.
Sure.
Into it.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah, and it's a shame that I'm going to forget it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought it was fine.
It was fine, and that's why I'm like,
yeah. I don't think we have anything else to say.
No, probably not.
All right.
This director is doing Masters of the Universe.
Sure.
So that's something to look forward to. Written by David S. Goyer.
Oh, less interested now.
Oh, wait. No, he's credited for earlier screenplay.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it's now the writer of Wonder Woman 1984.
Also not great.
And Mortal Kombat.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We'll see.
It's a real roller coaster.
We'll see.
We will see. Hey, folks, thanks for listening to us talk about this movie and other movies.
Yeah. And also, yeah, just read fucking people's lists of credits. I don't know what happened there. Why don't you tell him some stuff, Dave, so that we can be done with this episode?
Tom, is the Oscars happening right now?
They are. Just tell him the things, Dave. Stop reading your fucking news feed.
We have a Patreon, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. If you go on there, you get some exclusive podcasts. For just $5 a month, you have access to Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We also do some stuff with the small beans like Star Trek The Next Futurama and Spiel Boys. You can check all of them out on, again, patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We watch movies with our patrons every Friday night. We have other tiers where you can make us watch movies and review them like this review. But usually like longer.
Yeah.
Or like at least with more heart.
More passion.
More passion. What are you up to, Tom? What's your day like?
Oh man, I'm just looking out my window right now. We also have a store. Head over to gamefullyunemployed.com where you can find a link to our Teespring store. We have all kinds of cool original artwork and designs. You can get on t-shirts, mugs, stickers, all kinds of different things. So check that out. And I'm gonna keep watching cats. In my backyard.
The movie you're Oh, there's cat. Describe them.
Man, there's like 3. None of them are mine. They're probably just shitting all over the place.
Right.
So
I'm
gonna have to clean that one up.
What's the power dynamic like?
Well, right now, all these 3 cats live in fear of another cat who is not out there right now. But he usually shows up and just beats the bejesus out of all the other cats.
Which is the Jellicle one?
The Jellicle cat? I assume it's the one who's beaten the bejesus out of the other cats.
I don't know, man. Isn't that?
I figure that's the Idris of them. That's
the Idris Elba of cat.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna see try to figure out which one of them is the magician.
Yeah, and you stick them on a hot air balloon or and just send them off.
Send them up into space.
Yeah.
Like the first Russian dog cosmonaut.